It's like they've been through so much crap. They don't care
Yeah.
anymore. They're like, that doesn't matter. It's just money. Brenton, how's it going?
Oh, it's going good. Glad to be here to talk about this. I feel like we got delayed a little bit longer
Yeah.
than we
Yeah,
wanted
because it
to.
was supposed to be a Thanksgiving. We were thinking of like what are Thanksgiving movies and
Well,
I
better
think
late
this is
than
the
never.
I,
holidays, same shit.
I think this is the only Thanksgiving movie actually. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Charlie
Well, like
Brown.
I mean,
Charlie.
there's a lot of movies based around Thanksgiving. Like I think Honey I Shrunk the Kids is based during Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but I feel like that's nothing. Like they don't even eat in that, do they?
At
It's
the
been a long
end,
time.
remember they make the turkey like really huge.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Uh,
Yeah,
you,
that's the
you know what I
first one.
remember most from that is when they fall in like the backyard and he's mowing the lawn.
Yeah,
I don't know why that part always stuck out.
like most Thanksgiving movies are part of Christmas movies. Like it starts in Thanksgiving and then it goes to Christmas. So
That's because I feel like that's the hustle and bustle is between that time. Like once Thanksgiving hits, it's like you're in a race now to get to that
it's
Christmas
true.
thing.
I
'Cause
mean,
it's
we're
just so
already like
much.
feels like Thanksgiving was just last weekend and it's already like a week into December, dude.
Yeah, 3 more
It's like,
weeks till Christmas. About.
yeah,
Jeez.
it's coming too fast. Way too fast.
Do you guys go anywhere for Christmas, or do you guys stay in?
Usually go to my in-laws on Christmas Eve. That's when everybody there gets together,
Mm-hmm.
and then Christmas Day we may go over to my parents to eat. But I think that they like to come over in the morning because they don't live very far away. So they're like, call us when the kids get up so we can see them open their presents on Christmas morning.
It's funny you say that because we open our gifts, or the kids open their gifts at 12 a.m. the day before. I don't know if you do that,
Oh
Eddie.
yeah.
Okay.
So like they either pass out, they don't make it till 12 o'clock, or they open their gifts like around 3 a.m. while everyone else is partying stuff.
Oh wow.
I think our mom
Yeah.
wouldn't let us. She like forever it was like no, you have to wait till the morning. And then I think like later on we finally convinced her to let us open one gift at
Mhm.
midnight. So we'd do that, but
They used to have a midnight mass, but
did they?
yeah, I think
Who the
they've.
fuck is going to church at midnight?
Well, it was like tradition, and then I think they've slowly gotten away from that over time.
Wow.
Well, I think I put this banner up for enough time. Let's go over some these characters really quick, or the cast. So, what do you guys think of this movie, really quick? Did you guys so you guys rewatched it, of course, but like do you guys remember when's the first time you guys watched it? Was it? I don't. I doubt it was in the theater, but like, you guys remember?
I'm not gonna remember. It was,
I actually didn't start watching this till maybe like a year or two ago.
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't know why. It just kind of always flew under the radar for me. It's weird. But I think this year, was it TNT or TBS? I think it's
One.
whoever does a Christmas story for 24 hours. Around Thanksgiving Day or Black Friday, they ran this for 24 hours then.
Oh well.
So I watched it a few times
I
over the
forget
holiday
that cable
weekend.
exists, honestly.
Yeah.
I remember TBS and TNT, but like for me that feels like years ago.
Well, you see, in the sticks, we're still behind the times, so
In this,
In PA.
we just
we
got cable. We just
we
got
got
color
cable and
TV
people
not too
watch
long
it.
We got channel 13 now. Finally.
ago. Yeah,
No,
I don't know. It was when I was a kid. I'm not gonna remember exactly when I watched
mhm.
it. I know I was young and might have been around the time my mom was showing us all different John Candy movies, like Uncle Buck and Harry Crumb and a bunch of different John Candy stuff, and that's probably when we watched it.
Yeah, my
Because my
sister
mom
was
was a
heavy.
big Steve Martin fan too.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, my sister got me into John Candy. Steve, like my brother, got me into. Like Steve Martin has a bunch of books. I don't know if you guys read them. Like
oh
he
really?
No, I
talks.
No.
didn't know that.
Yeah, he stops by here a couple times too, which is pretty cool.
He,
Oh,
he
very
stops
nice.
by your house and checks out the collection. Or?
Yeah. He does like a comedy thing, which is pretty good.
Oh, out there?
Hmm.
Oh, that's cool. I saw a
I don't know if
stand
you.
up. I saw a special with him and Martin Short a while ago. It was a couple years ago they did one. I don't remember if it was on Netflix or what, but it was okay.
So I'm gonna start off with this guy right now. John Candy plays Adele. He plays Dell, and you guys remember this scene?
Yeah,
Yeah. Did he
funny.
say he has a Casio?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Casio.
Hey.
It's
I
all
have a
showing up.
dollar 25 with.
Oh shit! I should
You
do
have a
it.
Casio?
Yeah. So I've had this thing where my watch broke all of a sudden,
Wow.
and so I was like, oh shit, I need something. So
You
I
gotta do
was
it,
like,
Brenton.
You
Do
know
it, do
your
it, do it.
phone tells time and shit. So,
I know, but for my job, it's kind of easier to have a watch on because I feel like um, being in front of somebody, like there's, it could be portrayed as like you're not focused
yeah.
on what they're doing if you're on your phone.
Yeah.
So I always just try and keep that in my pocket the whole time.
So there's a scene Eddie asked me. I think you did too, Brenton. But this scene always makes me laugh.
Now let me have
I love that scene.
It's
Mostly
like true
'cause
happiness there.
I do that a lot. Like if I'm like super into a song, because I drive a lot for work, and I drive like my family lives far from me. So if I'm ever driving, that'll literally be me and Adriana. She'll be sitting, sleeping in the passenger seat, and I'll be super into whatever music I'm listening to, and I'll be sitting there like moving around or like singing or like doing drums on my on the steering wheel or like piano or like trumpet, whatever's going on. I do that. So that's why it was so funny to me. I was like, this is me, man.
I can never fall asleep in the passenger side, no matter what.
Really?
No.
Like, yeah.
I can fall asleep in the driver's side if I'm being honest.
Jeez.
But yeah, it's sometimes it's hard.
I think it's the control thing, like not having the control when you're in the passenger seat.
It's better to
I
fall
think-
asleep then, so you
No,
don't have
see,
to
I
watch.
can't because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna freak out. I'm like,
Yeah, don't watch, man. Just put the chair back and
just let me
zone the hell
drive.
out. Remember,
Jeez.
you're gonna die whether you're aware or not. So die peacefully.
You know what's funny though when you watch these old movies and even though you're playing that thing and you're focused on John Candy like dancing and playing the instruments, I just
Yeah.
keep thinking like, God, everybody smoked in the movies back then.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's just
Oh,
something
yeah.
that's so taboo
Chain
today.
smokers. Yeah,
They smoked in the restaurant. They smoked in the airport. They smoked in the car.
they were trying to advertise cigarettes, man. They wanted you to buy cigarettes, probably.
I know all the cool characters always smoked, and it was just like, it's such a different time today.
Yeah.
So one funny thing, the very beginning of the movie, John Candy, like you don't see him until like 20 minutes later. You always see Steve Martin, like, trying to figure out how to get to, the airport, and he keeps
Yeah.
tripping over his luggage, like John
Yeah.
Candy's luggage.
And then I like when he finally realizes it's his trunk. And he's like,
Oh, yeah.
he's like, you son of a bitch, you've been the bane of my existence before I even met you. Like, yeah, that's funny, dude. I like when he's like, in the taxi, and he's chasing him down, and he doesn't realize he stole his taxi. He's like, oh shit, like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
What about even in the beginning of the movie? Sorry, Steve, where
You're good.
he's
You're good.
just sitting in the conference room and the guy just keeps looking at that picture.
Oh yeah,
It's
that
like,
creeped me out.
come on, just make a decision. Like, I gotta go. I feel like we've all felt that at work. Like, that's such a relatable feeling of like, come on, I'm ready to get out of here.
I feel that. You ever feel that when you're in like drive-throughs or when you're ordering at a fast food restaurant? That's when I get really impatient like that, when they're staring at the menu and it's like, you never been to a fucking McDonald's before? Like, you don't know what they have? You always order the same shit. Just order, get the hell out of here.
I guess that's true. Like that happens a lot over here.
How many of these have we done?
Like
so far?
movies.
Yeah,
Dang.
like these movie reviews.
13. It says right there, but with you guys, I think like around 6 or 7, maybe. Like it's more than half of them.
I was just thinking, have we ever really um talked about the director?
Who's the director for this one?
No.
He did Home Alone.
John
No.
Hughes. So
John Hughes. Yeah.
does that name sound familiar to you guys?
Yes, but I don't know why. It just sounds.
Did
like a
like all the
familiar name.
Christmas movies you could think of.
Well,
Really?
he was huge in like the 80s and 90s. So he directed Uncle Buck. He directed this, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Weird Science, The Breakfast Club, 16
Oh.
Candles. Like anything that was like a
love all of
huge
those
comedy,
movies. That makes
he did
sense.
it.
Weird Science is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, that's one of mine too. It's like weirdly is, but
Oh, he did Christmas Vacation too, didn't he? Yeah. Oh no, screenplay. He did the screenplay for.
He
Christmas
wrote
Vacation.
a ton of stuff. Like it's amazing, this guy's work. Which is it's ironic. So I love The Breakfast Club. That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it's
Like
a
he
good one.
always had a good feeling for like how teenagers acted. Like
at the
for some-
time,
yeah, for he could always capture that. So that's why I got really excited when Spider-Man Homecoming was announced. The director had said that he wanted the high school stuff to be like John Hughes style. So I was like really anticipating that movie. And then I didn't get that. Sorry to sidetrack this, but I just
no,
thought it
you were
was-
building it up, and then
I just thought it was important to mention because his impact on film.
oh yeah,
going
yeah.
on
I think it's a good
lifetime.
idea to bring it up for the next one too, or going forward. The director is definitely a big part of it, right?
Yeah.
So there's this one scene I think everyone knows. I was gonna grab the Family Guy version, but I was like, John Candy, you can't mess with the performance. So
I like me. My wife likes me. My customers like me. Because I'm the real article. What you see is what you get.
Peter Griffin did that in one episode.
Did he?
Yeah,
I don't
Lois is
remember
like
that.
yelling at him nonstop, and then he just
Oh,
repeats
wow.
everything.
Normally I remember all that Family Guy stuff, but I don't remember that. He
You know,
was,
this movie's so twisted in a way.
dude. He would have annoyed the shit out of me too. Dude.
Ugh.
Like the way he was in the hotel, like.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when they were
jeez, he-
sleeping?
No,
not
not
just
even that.
the noises he was
shower.
making. I mean, like, yeah, the bathroom. Like, what kind of an animal does this shit? And like,
I know. I
leaves
love
his
Steve Martin's
socks-
left with the little washcloth. That's all that's
Yeah.
clean. For...
and he leaves his socks soaking in the sink and like his underwear on the counter and like, Jesus, man, this guy, freaking, no consideration. Like, he's one of the sweetest guys, but then like, when it came to the hotel room, no consideration at all. You know,
Yeah, like he's walking all
it
over.
didn't make
you.
sense, but it was funny. It did, yeah, I was like, what the fuck, man?
What do you guys think about him selling curtain hangers, or what's it called, the shower curtain hangers? Or
It's
that was kind of
interesting.
weird, right?
Yeah, it's like it's a weird career, but like that whole scene when he's selling them is funny, and he's like trying to sell them as like earrings and like all kinds of weird shit.
Made out of quartz, made out
Yeah.
of like helium has been put in.
You know, this movie, it's definitely just, it's kind of like a sign of the times. Like there isn't, I guess maybe there is traveling salesman like that anymore.
Oh yeah, that's true. Traveling salesman. It's not really like a, because now you got like advertisements and the internet, I guess.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, now you can just send an email and they're like, "Hey, we're selling this thing. If you're
Yeah.
interested, here's a
Or you
video."
could put something up like BOGO.
Yeah. How dare you? Don't go there.
I guess
That's a
I'm
sore
kind of
spot.
a traveling salesman. I travel and I sell, but I don't go to like door to door. Those people, yeah, that used to like sell computers or like
God, they used to sell
Vacuums and
vacuum
shit.
cleaners and
yeah
Knives. Yeah.
knives.
Yeah, they used to sell
Oh,
knives.
like kitchen knives.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it in like Napoleon Dynamite? He was selling Tupperware or something.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I guess
indestructible.
there's still like a
Tupperware.
version of that left with like the pampered chef parties.
Yeah. Well, so John Candy and our next cast is Steve Martin plays Neil. So there's this one scene where he goes,
I threw it away.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy, what?
You're fast.
That's amazing because that whole time, we should have clipped that whole scene and then been like, this sounds like Eddie when he's talking on stream. Because the whole time he's like, I just give me a fucking car right fucking now. And the whole time he's like, fuck. He's pissed.
he says,
I would be pissed too, though.
he says that word for like 16 times, and it pushes it from rated PG to a rated R, just because of that scene.
Wow. Yeah, he
Yeah.
says it a
Well,
million
it makes
times.
sense. I love it though because he's like, he gets to the end of his spiel and he's like, to a fucking car that wasn't fucking there.
Didn't she say something like, I don't like your attitude? He's like, you don't like my fucking attitude? He's like, I was like, yeah, I can't blame him. Can't
Yeah,
say
he
I
goes
blame
up to her. He's like, wipe that fucking smile off
Yeah.
your face.
him. Yeah.
See, I think Steve Martin, most of my life, flew under the radar because I think, like, the two movies that I really remember watching as a kid from him was it Beethoven
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yep.
and The Man with Two Brains?
And I've never seen it, but what's the one where he's got like the fake nose on?
The fake news.
It's a pretty popular movie, but I never saw it.
I
He
think
has
not
it's
a, like a
about that
big
one.
nose.
The other one was Three Amigos, too.
Oh,
Three
yeah,
Amigos
that's
was
great. And there's this one scene. I don't know if I should show it. No, I'll show it later. But yeah, man, I think he did great. Oh, there's actually this one scene. He plays both
Little
of them.
Shop of Horrors too.
Why are you holding my hand? Where's your other hand? Between two pillows. Those aren't pillows.
I like they get up and they're all like, "Ugh, you see those cubs or whatever?" He's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, trying to be all manly.
yeah.
It's hilarious.
I feel like that would happen, like, or that has happened, like before when I used to rent hotels with my friends. Like we just get hammered or whatever, and then we wake up like with my foot on their face or like they're like on top of each other or something like that. So that was, I don't know. I think he played it great. It was
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of annoying at sometimes, but like, did you know it towards the end of the movie where he's thinking about Candy, like he's in the train, he's going back. That's actually all candid shots, like like he wasn't acting. You know when like he's thinking and it's showing like
Yeah.
all the scenes of John Candy. That's just him sitting down. They actually caught footage of him sitting down.
That's right. I remember. I think I sent you that thing, and it was just saying that he was just sitting on the train.
Luckily,
And,
they were filming him.
Like, yeah, he would. They weren't even supposed to be filming that, but they just like let the camera roll or something. So it's just Steve Martin just sitting there,
yeah,
and then they're like, it was so good that they decided to use it.
that's crazy. But there's Steve Martin, and then there's I brought her up because she was part of the movie. Susan Page, the wife of Steve Martin. But what you guys think of her?
Could you get a feel? I mean, she was in for what, like, had
Yeah.
quarter scenes when he'd call home, and then like
Yeah.
the one at the end.
So that video you sent me, Brenton, like she's watching a movie or something on the TV.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You want to say it?
I vaguely remember it. I think it was. I don't remember what movie it was. Do you remember the movie?
It was with Kevin Bacon. But
Yeah, it was something that didn't come out in theaters yet.
yeah.
I believe.
Oh, really?
So it was like,
That's cool.
yeah. So it was like an early copy of that movie, and that's what she was watching on TV. So a nice little Easter egg there.
It's funny.
Do you think like she was complaining too much of like, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Or you think she was justified by asking?
No, I think it's normal because
It's
I
normal.
mean, look at the time. I keep going back to this, but you know, if it was today, you would just be on your cell phone, and that
Yeah,
would like
she's
fix
not
everything.
able to,
Yeah.
and she's not able to like get a hold of him as easy. She's got to wait till he's by a payphone, or
Yeah, I mean
she doesn't know where he'll be, so he has to call her.
Yeah, so you're pretty much just waiting. Like you have no idea where this person's at.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's getting
That could-
closer and closer to Christmas and or Thanksgiving or whatever, and he's got to be home, so she's just anxious about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's true. I put this guy because he was part of the cast, even though he was in the movie probably like 2 or 3 minutes. This guy always plays a bad guy for me.
I like when he asks him, you think this is street safe or something? And John Candy's like, oh, I think so. I think so. He's like, I forget what he says. He's like, she can take a beating, or he says something like, I don't know. That scene was pretty funny. Whatever he said, I don't remember exactly, but it was pretty funny.
Didn't he go up to him and he's like, you know how fast you were going? And they said something
Oh.
like the speedometer like went out and
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, he's like, we pretty much don't got anything on the dashboard. He said,
But he's
Something
like, the
like
radio works. Go figure.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's what he says. He's like, nothing works, but the radio is good, clear as ever, or whatever. Yeah.
I love when they get out, they get into the motel, and they're like, they're laughing the night away. And they're like, "Did you feel your ass? Like my ass was burning." I don't know if you guys remember that part. This car seat was like burning on my ass or whatever. So there's that guy, and there's this guy for Eddie.
That's a funny scene. It's just like Kevin Bacon feels like such a big actor to play in such a small little scene, but like I forgot he mentioned it too on a podcast I was listening to like a while ago. He mentioned like how he ended up being the random guy in that scene. I don't remember what he said though. I feel like he said like he was in the area or something and someone asked him to do it, or I don't remember, but he had something to say about it.
Well, I
I
think
just thought
this.
it's funny.
I'm slowly. It's coming back to me. That movie that he was in, that was on Steve Martin's wife's TV. It was
Yeah.
something about him trying to get back to his family for a holiday, and they're saying like there's some speculation or something about like this is what was happening to him to try and get back to them in that movie.
It's like, are you telling me this was
In the same
multiverse?
universe.
Yeah.
That's what was happening here?
Yep. This was a what do they call it? Shoot, I'm drawing a brain fart here.
But it's funny, like when they show the credits, it shows Kevin Bacon. Under Kevin Bacon, it just says Taxi Racer. Doesn't give him a name or anything. Maybe I'll come back to you, Brenton. But then we got this guy.
Oh, I love
I think-
this.
You the shower curtain fella?
Yeah. Yeah, Del Griffith. How are you? This is Neil Payne.
Jesus.
I love how like Steve Martin always gets the short stick. Like John Candy got his hand shake clean, and this guy wipes his spit.
This scene is hilarious. He's like, put it down. She'll grab it for you. And he's like, oh, we already got it up. Like, it's fine. That whole scene is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I
He's
know
in the
because
back of the truck, too. And the dog's back there. He takes his glove, and he's like, give him back his glove. And the dog's growling at him. That's hilarious, dude.
what do you say though? He's like, she may be skinny, but she's strong.
Yeah.
He's like, first pregnancy, baby came out sideways. She didn't scream or nothing.
Then I love how she slams the door. Like she's like, hell yeah, yeah. Yeah. Didn't you guys say this guy was in the movie Spider-Man or something?
Yeah, it's Doc Connors
Yeah.
in the Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, he plays Lizard Man or whatever.
Yeah, hilarious, man. That's the last guy I got for the movie. Actually, there's not that many actors. I mean, there's Ben Stiller, not Ben Stiller, Ben Stein was in the movie. I don't know if you guys remember him.
Oh yeah, I remember that TV show he used to host.
Wait, who's Ben Stein?
He was at the airport. He has like this weird, very mellow voice.
It's very like dry.
Yeah.
So
I'll look up what he looks like.
oh, I
Ben
found it.
Stein.
So that was another John Hughes movie that was playing on that TV. I'm sorry I keep coming back to this with Kevin Bacon, but I think it's the movie. It was called She's Having a Baby.
Okay.
So I think he's trying to
Ben Stein.
race home to make sure he's there for the pregnancy or something.
Do you
Or for
think
the
that?
childbirth.
Do you think this scene isn't in that movie?
I don't know. I've never actually saw that. I'm kind of curious now to go back and watch it though.
Yeah.
I want to see if they just reference him as being stuck in like New York.
Yeah.
You guys should have
All
just
right, you
said
guys.
Bueller. Ben Stein's the Bueller guy.
Oh yeah.
Bueller?
You don't remember the TV show? Ben Stein's Money?
No. That's probably before my time.
Oh, is it because it was on cable?
I had cable, man. I had cable. I don't remember him having his own TV show.
It used to be on, I think, Comedy Central.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, all the
Oh,
time.
so it's not that old then, right?
It was like 90s.
All right, you guys. What do you guys give the movie? Score, final thoughts.
You remember? Okay, I thought of another scene that you probably should have grabbed, but I wasn't thinking about it. When he falls, when the guy punches him, because he's like, I forgot what he does, but
Oh,
the
yeah.
guy knocks him out like in the middle of the street, and he falls on the ground, and John Candy almost hits him, and he stops, and he's like, "Are you okay? Like I almost ran you over or some shit." And then he looks at him, hey, and the guy's like, "Get out of the way! Like we need to get cars through here." He's like telling him get out of the way, and he's like, "You insensitive asshole," or something. And he's like, "Okay, I'll move, but you pick him up for me," or whatever. And then he's like, "Okay, no problem." And he grabs him by the nuts, and Steve Martin's like, "No."
I don't know if you guys noticed, but right after that scene, they get in the car, and Steve Martin's voice is very high pitched.
Yeah.
The whole time. Yeah. And then John Candy's like, I've never seen someone get picked up by the balls before. I almost forgot about that scene.
Or the scene in the taxi cab too, where they're the weird taxi cab guy.
Oh yeah, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
weird.
And he's like, "Why are we driving through the middle of the city?" Or they say something. He's like, "Well, you guys never been to wherever we are right now. I figured you'd want to take a look at the city or something." And he's like, "In the middle of the night," or I forgot what he says, but that part's pretty funny too.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Right. Eddie, do you have a score?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to score. As far as like a comedy goes, it's a timeless comedy for me. So like, nothing like rewatching it. Nothing annoyed me about it. Nothing like was like, oh, this doesn't hold up or like. So I mean, feels weird giving stuff 10 out of 10, but like for me, it's a great movie that holds up. So 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I give it like an 8 out of 10. There's some parts where like he's so annoying to where I was like, come on, man. Like, don't make him this annoying. Like the part where you guys were mentioning, like he has all the stuff around the bathroom. That part, I was like, oh, like how does he do this?
Dude, yeah.
Well,
Too
That's
much.
the only thing. But it's part of the movie, I guess. But
yeah, because when you go back, when you learn, so we didn't talk about this, at the end of the movie, you learn that he doesn't have anyone to go home to. His wife has died.
Yeah.
So he stays busy traveling constantly.
Yeah.
yeah.
He doesn't have a home. He lives
Exactly.
in hotels.
So he was probably just stuck in his ways of it doesn't matter because he's so alone all the time.
That
He
know
doesn't
what?
think about that stuff.
you just made sense. That would make sense for the bathroom to be like that because he's used to just throwing his shit around and like the bathroom is like his laundry room or he washes his clothes in the sink.
Yeah.
And, like that makes a lot of sense now. Does make a lot of sense. You guys,
I like the whole. Sorry.
you remember the scene when they're sitting there? They're finally like, it's when they're like, they don't give a shit about anything anymore, and they're sitting on the bed drinking the little tiny bottles of alcohol.
Oh
He's
yeah.
talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
like hit me with another one. He's like, you want to take a little trip down to Jamaica? And he tosses it to him. He's like, Jamaica, man, and they start doing the accents or whatever. Yeah, man, that part's funny too.
Well, that's because like this whole movie, he's meant to annoy you, and you're like, oh, this fucking guy, man.
Dude,
Like, how can
too
you
much.
be with him? And then when you find out at the
Again and
end, you're
again.
just like, man, I
Oh,
feel like shit for
Yeah.
feeling like that, having those feelings. Like, this
What
person's
about-
worse off than I ever imagined.
what about when they drive through the wall of the hotel?
Oh, yeah.
And
I
they
was trying to
just
get that
take
clip.
off?
Yeah.
They just take off, dude.
No. John Candy, out of all people, was in the car. He's like, "Push already! Come on, put your back into it." It's like, why are you in the car? And he goes like, "All right, I'm gonna put it on reverse. Then I'm gonna put it on drive." He puts it in reverse. So John Candy crashes and he comes back, and then Steve Martin goes like, "Go, go, go!"
So that's what I think that turn happens where they're really starting to bond then and
Yeah.
care about each other.
I thought Steve was gonna get the scene where they're in the car, and he turns into the devil and he's laughing. Because Steve, I thought it was Steve that loved that scene, or if maybe
I
it was
love
Brenton.
that scene. I thought I had that.
Yeah, when he's sitting there laughing, and he turns to the devil.
Yeah, let me look for it real quick.
I like when he's like, when he's struggling the whole time. I think we talked about it backstage when we were talking about the movie. He gets his hands locked, and he gets both hands locked, and he's fucking sitting there like trying to get his arms out. And then Steve Martin wakes up and looks at him. He kind of looks at him like, "Oh hey, like yeah, everything's good." And Steve Martin goes back to sleep, and he's fucking ripping his fucking arms again. I remember thinking like, why the fuck didn't he just tell him, "Can you grab the wheel really quick? I'm stuck." Like. But because he's an idiot, he doesn't say anything.
I actually have it right here. Just
was-
his face, man.
That was the other one I was just gonna bring up. Like before that, when they're driving on the wrong side of the road, and the couple's trying to tell him, like, "You're on the wrong side of the road," and the guy's like, "Look at this." They think he's on the wrong side of the road. Yeah, so he's like, they must be drunk or whatever, you know. That was funny. You're gonna kill somebody.
Doesn't Steve Martin goes like, how would they know if we're on the wrong side of the road? It's like, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
But he finally starts looking down at the lines, and they're not making any sense,
Yeah.
and he starts to panic at that point.
So Brenton, what score do you give it?
I think it's somewhere 9.5 out of 10, 10 out of 10, somewhere in that range. I mean, it's a classic comedy that's funny every time. Like the parts that you laugh at, you can't help but laugh every time you see it.
Like, what would you change if you could change something? That's why I gave it a 10, because I was like, there's nothing that I would want to change other than the fact that, like, these movies like this annoy me in the fact that it's like, these situations shouldn't be happening. Like, someone needs to just stop this. But, like, other than that, but that's part of it, you know? So it's like, there's nothing else that I would really change.
Yeah, no, I think maybe that's really valid point of like, I should probably bump it to a 10, because I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I'd be like, oh, they shouldn't have done this, or they should have done that instead.
I was gonna say give more story behind his wife, but it's good as it is. I think it just like gives you that, like, he was the same to her, but she accepted it.
I just like that it's a twist. You never see it coming, because he has like the picture of her on the nightstand early in the movie.
Talks
you think
about
he
her.
just misses her.
Yeah. It's so sad, man.
I know. And then when like it takes you through this roller coaster of feelings, which is really interesting, where you're just like, oh, he's annoying, and then you feel really bad, and then it's kind of happy right after you feel bad because he's accepted into their family.
Yeah. Yeah. So 10 for you too?
Yeah, I'll go with 10.
Cool. Cool, man. So everyone recommends it, I'm guessing, and definitely watch it like before Christmas and everything.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be
S-
on TV again.
oh yeah, on
There's
that cable stuff.
there's something about like classic movies. Like when was this was 90s or
No,
87.
87? Like there's something about movies from the 80s and like early 90s that like I don't know, they make you feel better inside. Like
There's a good
when you're
message
thinking
behind them.
about like shit nowadays and like, like I don't know, there's something like that brings you back about those movies that like just makes you feel homey or like what's that like I don't know what the word is, but it just makes you feel better like old movies like that if you watch them.
Yeah, I mean you're 100% right. It's kind of like it's like comfort food or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's like
that's a good word.
a warm, cozy feeling of like I need a pick me up, so I watch.
Because
something
like
this.
I don't know about this is not meant to be a sad thing or anything at all, but like I don't know about you guys, but like the older I get, the more like the less like the holidays feel like the holidays anymore. Now it just feels like a time that I want to get through, like spending money and dealing with people. And like when you watch these movies, even if you don't feel like a kid again, you get those feelings of how you used to feel during the holidays when you watch them. You know what I mean? Like food and family and funny and like hanging out with, I don't know. That's how I feel when I watch stuff like this, like from the 80s and early 90s and stuff. Like it makes me feel like it's kind of like escaping from the 2020 up world that we're in now.
The modern stuff.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah,
you're right because stuff like this doesn't exist anymore. Sorry, Steve.
yeah.
You're good. Yeah, for me it's the same. It's like it gives you that idea or that look into someone that like looks happy on the outside. You know, he's like trying to be courteous to everybody, being nice to everybody. You know, trying to be friendly with everybody, trying to like go past the friend zone, like be there for them. And then like it tells you like not all the time they're like happy. You know.
Yeah. And like it's also different watching it as an adult than it is when you're like a teenager or whenever we used to watch it, even later teenager years, like because now we know the responsibilities like
Yeah.
of work meetings, having to get through that meeting, having to rush home if you're traveling, having to deal with the wife or like trying to get home for the kids or whatever. Like it means it has a different feeling now in a way. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, you guys, what movie is next? I think I picked this one. Eddie, I think you picked the other one. Do you remember?
We did Fletch Lives before this, right?
Yeah, that
I
was
picked
Brent's.
that one.
It's your turn.
So
Do you want to pick a
I
Christmas
forgot
movie?
we were doing turns. Yeah, I kind of want to do a Christmas movie. Can we do a Christmas Vacation if it's available? Because I actually do want to watch that.
Yeah. You know what's funny? It's been on a cable. lately,
Oh.
so I've been
You've been watching it, huh?
been watching it, catching it when I can. Let me see. Oh, just for an FYI, if anybody out there is listening and
Yeah,
wants
it's
to
on
watch this
HBO.
movie, this is on Paramount Plus if you have it.
That's where I watched it, I think.
Yeah, luckily.
Yeah, Christmas Vacation is on HBO, Fubu, Philo. I don't know what the hell all those are.
Fubu
Amazon
Philo is
Prime.
all free, so yeah.
So if you
So-
guys are cool, we could do that one.
Yeah,
Christmas
definitely.
Vacation. That's good.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
I have
Chevy
a
Chase.
feeling, I don't know why, but I have a feeling I'll appreciate it a lot more after Fletch Lives. 'Cause, like,
Chevy
I swear
Chase.
that movie gave me a whole new. I think I'm a big Chevy Chase fan now, so I want to watch his movies.
That's awesome.
All right, guys. So Christmas Vacation.
You know
Uh,
what I was thinking about when we were talking about this movie right now? John Candy and Steve Martin in this movie kind of remind me of me and John.
a little bit. A little bit.
I was
yeah.
thinking John annoys the shit out of me sometimes, and like he doesn't mean to. He just the way he is, and like so when he was like saying I like me, like I don't care. I was thinking of John the whole time. Like John is like I'm not changing for anybody. I was
That's
thinking
so
like
true.
God, sometimes I'm a prick to him, but I thought that was funny.
I'm gonna let John know.
He was watching. I wonder if he's still watching, but I think he'll agree. I think he'll think the same. Like, it's like a love-hate relationship.
Mojo says Chevy Chase was the man in the 80s.
Yeah, I
He has
know.
a
I
ton
feel
of
like I
movies.
missed out on that Chevy Chase era because like my mom didn't like care for him too much, so I gotta go back and watch some of those.
We got to get Mojo Potato on here, man. Do you guys know him by chance?
Mojo, that's the same Mojo from like DCX and everything, right? Is it
I
the
don't-
same?
I
Like
don't
he has a
know.
huge statue collection?
No, I don't think that's him.
Oh, it's another.
Is
Okay,
that
I
just
know
Mojo
a Mojo.
Collectibles?
then.
Yeah, I think it's Mojo Collectibles.
Oh, you're right. I've seen Mojo Potatoes around in like our streams and stuff though.
Yeah. Well, we'll try to find you, Mojo, so we'll get you on here next one because he always joins in. So
Yeah, he's always commenting in the movie streams.
different Mojo.
Different Mojo.
Okay.
He stole
We'll
his
find
mojo.
you, man. Just watch Austin Powers.
That's what we gotta on the Mojo stream. We gotta watch Austin Powers.
I wish I had his collection though. Yeah, he knows who we're talking
Yeah,
about.
I know. He's got a whole shit ton of stuff, man.
All right, Mojo. All right, Knight, John, Brenton, Eddie. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you sometime next week, right, or this weekend or something.
Yeah.
Whenever you're
Make it
streaming,
work whenever.
you know better than me.
See you guys.